You are now watching The Heat Magnet with Sydney Cloud.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Heat Magnet, episode 6. I am your host, Sydney Cloud, the world's most hated man here at Top Level Plug. Yes, this is the brother, sister, partner of I Talk Shit TV. If you know, you know. If you don't, you better find out. But definitely hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We're on the road to try to get to 10K. We'll see. I know a lot of y'all hate me out there, so it's hard. But let's see if we can do it. Also, if you have the fraction of a second that it takes, please tap the link in the description and head to toplevelplug.com where you can get the brand new Sydney Cloud Ring Rat t-shirt. It's available on my site for $14.99. Get yours today. Now on to the show. Today I have a very special guest. This is an up-and-coming professional wrestler, a very, very, very interesting character, somebody who I think has a very bright future in this business. She's been busting her ass training. She's been busting her ass on the main cards, on the pre-shows, anywhere she can get her face on the camera. I see it, I respect it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the talented, the beautiful Amira Moon.
Hello, thank you for having me.
All
I'm
right.
excited to be here.
I've been excited to interview you for a while. You're definitely an interesting character. You know why I say that you're an interesting character? It's because you're very quiet.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say that it's kind of interesting because I feel like at wrestling or like a practice, I'm very quiet. But then it's one of those things like if you really know me or like anywhere outside of it, I'm like the exact opposite. And even for myself, I haven't really like found the reason why I'm so quiet during all of those. But yeah, I guess I'm a little bit mysterious. So that's why I'm hoping that.
Mysterious.
Yes.
That's. See, I'm calling you interesting, like you're a fucking alien or something. Yeah. No, mysterious.
Yeah.
You see, because I come to the shows and everybody's loud and everybody's speaking. You got Scotty talking all loud about shit nobody gives a fuck about. Fuck you, Scotty. You got Roger talking all loud. You got Joe bitching, and then we go towards you, and it's usually silent. So yeah. it's mysterious.
Yeah.
So. How long have you been a professional wrestler now, or training to be?
So I want to say like I've been consistently wrestling for like 2 years. I did wrestle a little bit in my past. I want to say like it has to be like 8 years or something when I like first started out, like around when I was like 18 years old.
Okay.
But I was just mentally not there at all. So like I just had to take a break. I had to like step away from the ring. And then I just went on a whole journey to like find myself and discover who I am as a person. And then when I was like mentally like a little bit more ready, that's when I like was like, okay, you know what? It's time to do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got 2 years consistent in the game, but you said 8 years overall? Yeah. On and off, or
not even. No, it was just like when I was like 18, I went to Warriors actually for like the first time for like a couple months, and then after that, like I just knew like I was not in the place mentally to wrestle and keep up with it, so I just left. And
okay.
Yeah, I always loved wrestling and I always kept up with wrestling. But as far as like trying to join again, every time I would feel like I would try to like join, I would kind of get easily like discouraged, and it was like nobody's fault except my own. Like I even trained at like ECPW for a little bit.
In Long Island?
No, that's the school in New Jersey.
New Jersey. Well,
yeah.
Why did I think ECPW? Because they have one upstate, I think.
Do they? I think the one I know is in New Jersey.
All right.
So like I did that for like a couple, months as well too, but it was just like. It was just life. Like it really was. Like I was going through a lot, and I would like to say like I try to keep my problems private, but like I was just going through a lot, and I was just like, someone once told me that wrestling and the business will always be there, so it's important to take care of your mental health or physical health or whatever it is, and then when you're ready, come back. So I always hold that advice near.
That is good. That is good advice.
Yeah.
And it's true. The wrestling industry, it'll always be there. Moves on with or without us. It's the truth. So 2 years ago. Take me to you coming back to Warriors. How was that process?
All right. So I'm originally from upstate New York. So I'd moved back to Staten Island. I was kind of like settling in on my own.
Staten Island.
Everybody asks me why I came back to Staten Island. Like, why Staten Island? And I'm like, well, it was just like close to the city. I was familiar with it because I went to the College of Staten Island for a little bit.
You couldn't just go to the Bronx?
No, the Bronx is not for me. I'm not a Bronx girl at all.
I don't like that place either, but
yeah.
Shit, Staten Island is like,
yeah,
ugh.
You got a little bit of everything. You can go to Manhattan easily. You can go to Jersey. It's right over. So it's very accessible. That's what it was, like a nice little pinpoint. And then since I like went to Warriors in the past, I was like, I knew it was there. So it was easy as like just like emailing Joe. I was like, hi, like, And I thought he didn't remember me. I was just kind of like, hi, like, I would like to like join again or whatever. I was there like a while ago, and he actually did. He remembered me. He was just like, hi, like, come in and just watch or join or whatever. And then I basically was just like, I was already decided. I was like, oh yeah, I'm joining. So I just went in, and from there on, I've been going. I will say though, the first year I was not as consistent. There were like times I would take like a couple months off and stuff, like I was in between.
Yeah.
But after like that first year, I really just like locked in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to Joe. He makes things easy and comfortable.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So okay, so you got 2 years. You're on and off. I will say, since I've been there, I've seen you there consistently. In November it'll be a year that I'm.
Yeah.
Even though I know Joe almost 20 years, it's almost been a year that I've been there consistently shooting the shows, and I've seen you at every show. So obviously,
Yeah.
you're there full time, and you're really trying to make something of it with this go. What made you want to get into professional wrestling?
Okay, so I've been a fan since I was a child. I was first introduced to like wrestling as a whole. I remember like my whole wrestling journey. I was introduced as a child. I went to like my cousin's house, and we were playing this wrestling game. I think it was like the original SmackDown versus Raw. I could be wrong. I think it was that. And all I know is that I didn't know how to play the game. They all picked like male characters, and I picked like Stacy Keibler, and I was getting beat up. Like my overall was super low, and it was just like, I was like, okay, I don't really know. This is fun. Like I may be getting beat up, but like, okay, this is cool. So that was like my first little introduction. Then I kind of like didn't really know how to explain to my mom what that was. So there came like, years, like a couple years went by. I don't know how old I was, but I remember flipping through the channel, and it was literally the moment of a Monday Night Raw that Trish Stratus was coming out, and I heard her theme song. I saw her put up that women's champion, and automatically I was like, what is this? Like my eyes were like locked in. I was like, wait, I need to like keep this channel on and watch it. And then I think it was like her versus like Candice Michelle, and then I saw her come out, and I was like, oh wait, like who is this diva? Like she's literally like a bad bitch. Like I was like, what?
Candice
and I was like,
Michelle,
these girls
yeah.
are about to fight. I was like, what is this? And then I saw like them fight, like but it was more like the entertainment for me. And then I started like following along. I started like looking it up on YouTube, like trying to follow what I kind of like missed out.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say like I became a fan of women's wrestling, because like for me it was the opposite. You know how like guys grew up watching wrestling, and they'll be like, oh, I only watch the guys. I didn't really care for the girl stuff. Like, oh, whatever. Like, who cares about?
Well, I cared for the girls, but in a different way.
Probably, right? For me, it was like the opposite. It was like I only cared about the women's matches. Like, if it wasn't for my brother that like kind of forced, like he would just want to watch the guy matches, and I'd have to wait the entire like show just to see a glimpse of a girl on the show. That's the only reason why I watched guy matches, but I really wasn't interested at all in the guys. It was really like the women, their storyline, the way they presented themselves, the gear, with a little bit of action. Like I took what I can get. Like I remember there was a time I'd watch like Friday Night SmackDown, and at the time like they wouldn't even have a women's match on the show. I think Melina was like the only valet, and that was the only woman on the show, and I just like be like, oh yes, like there you go, that's the woman. Like I'd watch it just for that. And ever since then I was just like hooked through the eras. So I've just been a fan since. I will say like during the like, there was an era that I kind of like disconnected a little bit. I think that was like the 06, 07, 08, like somewhere around there. Like I was just like, oh, I'm not really interested in these like storylines. Like I like it a little bit, but not too much. I play the games here and there. And then it wasn't until the era of like, I will say like the Total Divas and the Bellas and AJ Lee, like when they were up and coming, I started watching again with like that NXT game show thing. I was like, what is going on? But I was here for it because I love the entertainment. What stands out to me like in WWE is the entertainment part. Like,
yes.
Sure, if I wanted to watch wrestling or something, I would just watch UFC. Like if I just wanted to watch people tear each other up.
No, you want to see storylines play out, character work, yeah.
Larger than life characters. And
but I feel like we're missing that these days. I feel like that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, that.
There's no more
110%.
Kanes and Undertakers and no more larger than life superstars. And speaking of NXT, you just brought up a fun fact. A lot of people don't understand how NXT started with the game show thing.
Yeah.
I thought that shit was hilarious when they had them lifting the kegs and running around the ring and shit.
Exactly. It was like entertaining, and it made you kind of get to know them in a different way. So like that's where I started following. I was like AJ Lee and the Bellas. I really started resonating with AJ because like as she like started to become like this character that was like an outcast, that was like more like she'll advocate that, like she wasn't the typical diva. She was like more of a gamer girl, geeky, and I feel like I related to that because I grew up liking anime, wrestling, all these like things that weren't really like, I was like super quiet and to myself. So I was just like, yeah, I feel like that's me. Like I'm not the typical like person. So I really like related to her. I liked the character. I feel like it was super different. It wasn't like the typical blonde white girl being shoved down my throat. I was like, oh, now I have like a Latina like or representative who doesn't look exactly like everyone else. So I found like that was like really cool.
Okay.
I was team AJ all the way, but I will say like, so like she raised me through like my high school age, right?
Yeah.
And then I like to say that the Bellas, like they did a good job being the villains, because when I was just looking at storylines, they did their job as heels where I hated them. I loved AJ, and I was like, every time they would get one up or like, you know, say something, I was just totally team AJ. But now that I've grown up and like grown into myself, I have a different respect for the Bellas, because now it's ironic because I relate to them more, because I've evolved out of that like weird geeky type of girl to like now I feel like people look at me and they're like, oh, you like anime, you like wrestling, like that's weird, you look like you like the Kardashians and like you don't like this type of stuff. And I'm like, no, I do actually. I just kind of like, I'm like the ugly duckling girl that had like the glow up and now I'm a baddie, so I had to get a personality before and now all of a sudden it's like hidden. So that I kind of feel like I relate to the both of them. That's why I like hold them so dearly. Yeah, so I guess that's how I got into it and that's how I go. And then now it's just like I don't want to be the next AJ Lee. I don't want to be the next Nikki Bella. I want to take the inspiration from them, but you know, be the next me, like myself. Like those are my inspirations, but I'm not trying to like be the next, like a copycat of them.
That is that's absolutely what you should be doing. You shouldn't want to be the next anybody. You should be the first and only you. Sounds like you got it sounds like you got the inspiration part right and you're using it to your advantage. I could see the inspiration from the Bella twins coming. I hated the Bella twins.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people I feel like discredit them, but when you look at what they did for women in wrestling, as far as like having the Total Divas show that brought in outside women's fans, and then also they kind of stuck around for like a while, like from when they first entered to like keep on going and going and going and have to wrestle with these different generations of women, and even now they're like they return for a run. And I feel like Brie Bella, like because she's been wrestling more since Nikki was injured, she's been doing really good on SmackDown, especially competing with like the women of nowadays. I don't think
they're bad wrestlers at all.
Yeah.
I remember when they first came around in 08, they did the twin gimmick where you know, one would hide under the ring and they would switch up. I thought that was interesting and that was refreshing.
Yeah.
I never really had a problem with them that way. I just, you know, just boring to me. But I do respect what they've done for the industry. They've definitely helped bring and elevate the women to the mainstream.
Exactly.
You got to give them that credit.
Right. And I feel like, hey, like people may have their inspirations, but like I kind of look at them as like what you would want to be, or I would kind of want to mirror my career to look like. Like at the end of the day, whether people loved them or hated them, people knew who they were. They
Yes.
made themselves a name outside of wrestling. They've made brands and businesses outside of wrestling.
Yes.
They've made it into the Hall of Fame. They're still on TV now. They always get the callbacks. Like, you know, they still have that love from the fans, that engagement.
Doesn't Nikki Bella look amazing right now? Like,
Yes.
she
looks
like
amazing.
well into her 40s. I think she looks so much hotter
Yes.
now than she ever did.
Right, like fine wine.
Yeah, that Nikki Bella. I think John Cena must be mad right now, because like, whew, she looks. Oh man, respect to Brie, but like, Nikki's the hot one.
I would say they both are.
It's an attitude
They're like two
thing.
different personality types though. Brie's like more like easy green, like, you know, for the environment, nature, and then Nikki, I look at like the fashionista. Like she's like,
Nikki's
yeah,
the
two vibes.
Nikki's the freak.
Oh my
You
God.
can just tell. Like, I don't think John Cena can handle all that. He's probably boring. He's probably He's probably a boring guy behind the scenes or something.
Who knows?
I don't know, man.
I feel like he looks humble and respectful, but I don't know.
That's a boring fucking life. Who wants to live? Whatever, man. Whatever. Listen, life is your oyster. Whatever you want.
Right.
You know. But you started watching. I guess that's the Ruthless Aggression era. Towards the end of that.
Yeah.
That's when you start
like
watching.
06, 07. That's when I really started watching.
You missed out on a lot of good shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always watch it back, but the thing is, they water it down now. They edit out a lot of. Good luck trying to find the Katie Vick Triple H video on wherever Raw is. What do they have Raw now? It's on Netflix, I think.
Yeah, Raw's on Netflix.
Like the old libraries on Netflix
But
now.
It doesn't have everything. It's not like the WWE Network. You're probably better off on YouTube, honestly.
Have you ever seen the Katie Vick thing?
No, I don't know who that is.
Oh
I
my!
have no clue who that is.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's never seen the Katie Vick segment.
I don't
Do
know.
yourself a favor, please, and think of me when you watch this.
Okay.
Just remember that I told you to watch
Okay,
this.
yeah, I'll take a look.
It's Triple H and Katie Vick. That's all you got on YouTube, and it's the most. That right there is going to tell you everything you need to know about how wrestling was during that period of time. It was so amazingly ignorant, unnecessary, but entertaining, and that's one thing I was talking last time with Joey Ace about this. You know, it might be dumb, yes,
Right.
but it's keeping people's eyes on the product.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really all that matters. I understand you have kids that watch, but they're TV ratings for a reason.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
I always felt that everybody complains about TV PG. I'm pretty sure you've heard that argument online or whatever. There are so many ways that WWE can get around that. You can tailor make a show that's for adults, and you can still have your PG product. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but they just for whatever reason they refuse to do it. Like as a kid, I'm 37.
Okay.
I started watching wrestling when I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
So that'd be 97. I started watching like, oh boy, I'm not even, all right, so you have to be familiar with the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah, through playing the video games, I gotta make sure that was included. So.
So I started watching a little bit after that. So maybe like
Okay.
towards the end of 97. All right, so there wasn't anything, WWE Diva wasn't a thing yet. You just had women there.
Yeah.
So as an 8-year-old boy going on 9 years old, the top woman was Sable. Do you know who Sable is?
Yes, I'm familiar.
Sable, so that's Brock Lesnar's wife.
Okay.
But Sable was the WWF women's champion, and all she did was walk to the ring, and she did this thing called the grind, where she would go in the middle of the ring and start gyrating, and that was everything to me as an 8-9-year-old boy.
Okay.
Those young boy stiffies all day, and that right there was women's wrestling to me.
I see.
I mean, that's how I was introduced to it. Oh shit, these girls come out in bikinis and they just dance around and they're champions.
Yeah.
That was the mindset for us growing up. Fast forward, what is it, 28 years now, and women, dare I say, are some of the, I think the women right now are actually better athletes than the men are.
Yeah.
And it pains me to say that, because there's a certain level of misogyny to me.
Yeah.
But but I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I think 90% of the roster can't fuck with Charlotte Flair
Right, I
in the
agree.
ring,
Yeah.
on the mic too. You know.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful thing to see, like that evolution. It's sad that it took that long.
Yeah.
But
for
it's
sure.
but it's so good for you girls. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
exactly.
Because you have real inspiration now. Not saying.
Yeah.
I'm not discrediting AJ Lee or the Bellas, anybody that came before, because Melina busted her ass.
Yes, exactly.
Candice Michelle went from her little dance to being women's champion, and you
Right.
could see that she worked hard.
Yeah.
They're pioneers, you know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't until about 2015 when you had Charlotte's and the Baileys and Sasha
Right.
Banks, and they're really the ones to show the world, like, yo, we can do this better than they can. And I mean, they don't give them great storylines.
Yeah.
I'll give.
That's what I would say too. Like every woman that's done interviews from that era, where like they were told to like pull their punches. If they wrestled a match that looked better than the guys, they were told that they had to go back out and wrestle a match that didn't look as good. They were cut time. So it's like
That's when SmackDown was taped. They would make them do it
Yeah.
again. Yes.
So it's like a lot of opportunities were just either like were just cut or they just weren't there. So that's why it's really good to have it now.
The sad reality is that this is a fact. This is not my opinion.
Okay.
It's women's wrestling. It doesn't sell as much as men's wrestling does. It's not as marketable, and it's a stigma. It's a stigma thing. You know, guys want to go see guys wrestle. It's just what it is. But it doesn't change the fact of what I just said. Like, I could never forget going to SummerSlam, not SummerSlam, NXT, the first time they went to Brooklyn in 2015. And I felt, the main event was Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens. No, was it Finn? I think it was. Table match or something like that. But I felt like the Bayley versus Sasha Banks match, yeah, I felt like that match should have main evented.
Right.
The entire crowd was just so more invested into that match. And by the time we got to the main event with Finn Balor, it just felt like that sucked all the good energy out of us already. You know, so
Yeah.
it's you know, like it's hard to tell when that momentum is going to come, because
Yeah.
and I understand why they positioned it that way, because they could have put that as the main event, and what if it was a flop? You know, then that was a whole
Right.
waste. Not saying that was ever going to happen, because it was such a good match. Mind you, I'm one of those guys that I see women's wrestling, and most of the time I'm just like, oh boy, like, is this going to be good, or am I just whatever? But then you have a woman like Bayley, awesome wrestler, but she grabs the mic and she bores the shit out of me. You know.
Yeah, but like I feel like that could go for. I don't think that's like a gender thing. I would go to say like that's a person by person.
Oh no, yeah,
I feel
definitely.
like there's some guys that do the exact same thing. They go on the mic and then I'm just like, all right, I couldn't care less about what you have to say. Or whatever. Like,
oh yeah.
They have no charisma. They could be super talented in the ring. Like they're doing the flips and they're doing everything they're supposed to do. But it's just like.
SmackDown right now is full of them. What is it? The Fraxium guys? I think those they're amazing wrestlers, but you put them on camera, you know, to talk, and I'm just like, oh boy, it's live. I can't skip it. But yeah, you know, women's wrestling has definitely come a long way. So I think you're wrestling, you know, at a time where it's like you're wrestling at the best time.
Yeah.
As you know, as a female competitor, it's like the best time.
Exactly. That's why I'm excited. I'm excited to like see where the journey takes me. I'm excited to get in the ring with a bunch of different women who've trained different places, different, like, you know, statures, weight classes, different wrestling styles.
Have you worked for any besides ECPW and Warriors? Have you been anywhere else?
Yeah, so I've started wrestling at Fuego Lucha as well.
Where's that?
They're a company in Passaic, New Jersey.
Okay, New Jersey. Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like it has a lot of great people. They use some of the current ECPW guys, and then, you know, guys from the, I guess, tri-state area.
Okay.
And it's been really cool. It's like it's a different type of wrestling. Like, you know, it's like lucha, and I feel like lucha's, for me, it's really interesting because it's like a style that I've been attracted to the most. Like, sure, like the cool like power bombs and like the more like husky guy moves are like cool, but nothing's gonna be like the Rey Mysterios, you know, like when you see them jumping off the ropes and doing like a bunch of things. Even like I watch AAA and I'm not too familiar with who the guys are and girls are yet, but like I watched it, I'm like, wow. Like,
you'll always be entertained.
I love the acrobatics of it and everything. So yeah, I mean, I've wrestled a few matches there. It's been really fun. And I have some few matches coming up there as well, so I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
It actually, it was like the first time I went to a show, they were like, oh, do you want to like create like a whole different persona? And for me, that felt like a 2K game when you like, create your character. I kid you not, I was like in the locker room area and I was told like, hey, like, so just create, like, yeah, have fun today. You know, it's about just having fun. Why not just create a new name and just go out, pick a new song. I'm like, he's like, do you want to wear a mask? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Put a mask on me. And ever since then, we've just been kind of rolling with it there. So you've been actually wearing a mask? Yeah,
oh, that's cool.
I've been wearing I'm a luchadora. Like, so I kind of love that because now I can say, like, I do have two wrestling personas. I wrestle as like Amira Moon at Warriors, which is the heel, and Luna Divina, which is the face character, and I'm a luchadora wearing a mask. So the contrast between it are like night and day. Like, they're totally different. And I feel like that's just gonna make me better as a wrestler as a whole, because I'm learning two different styles at once, but also I'm learning to manage being a face and a heel at the same time. Okay. So that's a challenge.
I like the name, Luna Divina. That's it's marketable.
Something like the moon.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, I just went with it.
What's your ethnic background? Where are you from?
So I'm Guyanese.
Okay.
Yeah, which many people don't know where that is. They're probably looking at me like, what are you? You're Chinese? And I'm like, no, Guyanese in South America.
That's Guyana.
Yeah, Guyana, exactly.
So it's your favorite R&B pop singer is Rihanna. She's Guyanese. She's from Barbados.
She's up there, but I have a lot.
Okay, so you have that working for you. That's definitely different. You're a Caribbean.
Like Indo-Caribbean.
What do they consider Guyanese West Indian?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so West Indian, Caribbean professional wrestler. Right. Not too many.
Exactly. Or I haven't met any yet. I would love to. I haven't seen any on WWE. Heck, I hardly see brown girls. Like, if you want to say like South Asian-esque girls, I don't think I've seen one on WWE yet, unless if I'm mistaken, but I haven't. Yeah,
I definitely. You're the first, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't. Warriors is the first time I'm really like interacting with members of the female members of the roster rather. Like I said, wrestling was such a toxic place when I was there, and it was, if you were looking to speak with a woman in the industry, you were trying to fuck or something like that, and it's in a so much better place right now where we can do things like this. We can sit down, talk, and have an interview without any kind of expectation like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's fair. It's so fair to you guys these days. Yeah. But yeah, brown, West Indian, you're the first. Usually, especially like in New York, they're usually Hispanic women. Yeah. Hispanic or white. Sometimes black, but most of the African American female wrestlers are like down south.
Okay.
down south in Jersey and places like that. Yeah, we definitely don't see anybody like you. I guess you're unique and use that to your advantage.
I definitely am. You could say like I'm marketing myself, or like I'm starting to like the gears are really starting to turn. It's like I may not look like I'm doing a lot, or just like I don't know, like you said again, I'm quiet. Like to people, I'm quiet, but I'm like definitely I'm the type of person that like to make moves in silence. That's what I believe. I'm not just gonna go and bark it and scream it and show it everywhere. I'm gonna do the background work that needs to be done in order to elevate myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense, and it's probably your best bet these days because everybody takes things that you say these days, especially like your attitude or your demeanor, and they'll try to use it against you. It's a real dog-eat-dog world, wrestling, and I hate that it's that way because at the end of the day, something me and Joey Ace were just talking about. We're not getting paid millions of dollars on the indie scene.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so why be that way?
Exactly. I mean, the way I look at the indies, right, or like I look at, or even pro wrestling, right, it is a job in a sense. So that's how I kind of went into it, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be completely honest. When I went into it, I kind of thought like I was a little bit like, oh, like I hear people throw out like wrestling family, and you're gonna be a family, and you're gonna be a family, and for me, I don't necessarily think that's true. That's not going to say like that doesn't mean anything negative. That doesn't mean that someone's like bad or anything like that. It's just more like I look at it like they're my coworkers. Like this is work. You're my coworkers, right? And it doesn't mean I have to like you. It doesn't mean I dislike you. I have the utmost respect for you until you do something to make me no longer respect you. But that is what I learned. And I think that's why people look at me as quiet, because I feel like
You're doing your own thing.
Yeah, I'm doing my own thing. I kind of I don't force relationships with people. I don't force friendships. I have my close friend group that I need. I have a strong support back in the background. Like, my family are super supportive. My friends are super supportive. I have my therapist that's super supportive. Like all my things in place. So I'm like, I really don't need the outside support from people. So if it just doesn't come naturally, then I'm not gonna like try to kiss anybody's ass and be like, oh yeah, I gotta be all close with you. It's either like, yeah, like if we're just, we just come here and we train together, then that's all it's gonna be. And I've kind of learned to be okay with that. So that's why when I go to training sometimes, I'll just be like, you know what, I'm just there to train. Let's do this, let's get in the ring, let's lock up, let's do the drill, and I wanna go after. That's it.
Yeah, because in this business, a lot of people, they go out of their way. It's not necessarily to kiss ass, but more to fit in and more to feel like they're part of, what they're already part of. Wrestling is a big fraternity. You don't, whether you're here at Warriors or whether you're anywhere else, doesn't matter. You're still part of the wrestling fraternity, and it's a global community. It has nothing to do with the United States. This goes all over the world. And I hope it travels. I hope professional wrestling travels beyond in the universe. I hope that light years away, there's professional wrestling over there and they're enjoying the same things that we do.
Right.
But you're already part of it. You don't have to. The minute you pay your dues and you step inside a ring and take your first bump or your first roll, you are part of that fraternity and it's forever. So you don't have to. I feel like you don't have to work that hard, especially if you're not getting paid that much to do this in the first place. You do it for yourself. This is a very selfish business.
Yeah.
And you have to be, because at the end of the day, I know you didn't get in the business to make friends and howdy doody.
Yeah.
You're trying to make it somewhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And thankfully these days you have places like AEW, WWE, and TNA. You have so many options. It's not just one. It's a reality. So why squander that by trying to make friends backstage and be Miss Popular or Mr. Popular? For what? What does that do for you? How does that advance your career?
Exactly.
You need to be Miss Popular with the fans and the people watching your videos.
Yes. That's why it's like all the fans that come up to me, I'm super social. When they do come up to me and have our interactions, I never turn anyone down. I'm always like, sure, you want a picture? Let's take a picture. You want to talk to me for like a couple minutes? Let's talk, let's chat. It never really bothers me. Even like when people like send DMs and things on Instagram, I might not respond, guys. Like, sorry, I'm like busy, but I look.
She don't have to fucking respond to you.
Yeah.
You look at them in the camera. You tell them. You don't have.
I don't have to respond to you. I'm sorry. It's just.
How many times has Bobby Steven tried to ask you on a date?
I think we set that respect boundary. I think that boundary, I'm really good with boundaries, I will say.
I love Bobby Steven. I love Bobby Steven. Bobby Steven, but he's such a ladies guy, man. He's such a ladies man.
He's a cool dude.
And who's the other guy? James is there. I got his picture on my fridge.
Oh yeah, I saw that. He's a cool guy.
These are top contenders.
Yeah, right.
These are top contenders for you, and the fucking Gench Club. These are, and Super Scrub John.
Oh yeah.
From the front row. You guys are all top contenders, baby.
Right.
No, but drawing that line between fans and workers.
Yeah, and just even like back to like the locker room stuff and being like, this is my headspace, right? It's like I don't mind training with the guys, and I feel like actually sometimes training with the guys pushes me to be better, because it's like, yeah, I want to keep up with you, you know. I don't want to have no excuses like, oh, because I'm a girl I can't do this. Like, I do want, it's like, give me time. I may not be able to do like 20 leapfrogs in a row, but I'm gonna try to get there, you know. Like, I don't want to have that like discrepancy.
It's no rush.
Even just like
If anybody tries to put it out there like you need to get it now, you need to get it today, they're not training you right.
Right.
You know, you have to, you get it when you get it, and then you're ready when you're ready.
Yeah, and thankfully I feel like I will give props. Like, I do feel like the guys there are very patient with us, and this new group of guys that are there, I'm more comfortable working with them, honestly, and I feel safe. Everything feels good. I also try to have like this respect, like when it comes to like the professionalism. That's why it's like I'll be more friendly with the girls, because I do think like I'm never the type that I want to give like a wrong impression, because I know like as a female, if you're being too friendly with guys, it could be interpreted a certain way, or it could come off a certain way, or maybe, I don't know, it just
Not anymore.
Weird.
Not anymore.
Believe it, I still feel like it does. It definitely does.
You know why? You know why it did before?
Why?
Because women weren't taken as seriously as they are now. Now, you believe it or not, it's the truth. It's a woman's world now. The females have the power now. So, if anything, it looks like you guys are taking advantage of us.
I wouldn't go to say that. But yeah, I talk to the girls more, because I'm like, you know what, we're gonna be like working together more. Even like when I start going out and branching out in the indies, yeah, it's cool to like, you know, network with the guys, but I feel like primarily I'm gonna want to start creating that solid network with all the girls on the indies, because it's like we're all gonna wrestle each other at some point. We're all gonna like cross paths multiple times, so it's like might as well like already start to get to know everyone, introduce myself, and create that, I don't want to say like friendship and bond. I'm not here to be like all buddy, but that professional relationship.
Good relationships, yeah.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Who's your favorite person at Warriors?
My favorite is Glamzilla. I will say Joyce. She is my favorite.
Shout out to Glamzilla.
Yeah, shout out to you, Joyce.
Very popular.
I feel like, yeah, Joyce is the one that I definitely talk to the most. That like sometimes like, yeah, like I'll know that there are times I go in the ring like to training like super serious, like I don't have a smile on my face, I'm just there to just go, and then I'll look at Joyce and she'll say something to me, and like she brings out like the laughter, like I just start laughing. I'm just like, oh my god, okay, like you brought it out of me for today. So I would say like, yeah, it's definitely Joyce.
Ladies and gentlemen, look out for Glamzilla. I'm telling you that little whippersnapper is going. Well, I'm calling her little, and she's bigger than me. She's going places.
She definitely is. Yes, and she will.
And credit to all of you guys, all of you. You know what I'm saying? All the female talent at Warriors of Wrestling is super talented.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'll never take that away from any of you. But she's definitely a standout.
Right.
Definitely stand out. And I've said the same. I've said the same about you.
I can't wait to watch her career grow, because she's like just getting started, and I just feel like seeing that growth for people is amazing.
Yes. Man, I've been in the business 16 years now, and I've seen a select few people come up. Big Bill, who's coming back to Monday Night Raw this Monday actually. Cass.
Oh, Big Cass.
Yeah, I trained with him the first 6 months of my career. I know him pretty well. Mike Santana, shout out to Mike Santana. He just debuted on NXT, but former TNA World Champion. Even he hates my guts, but I trained with him for a good 2 years. You know what I'm saying? When he was Mike Drastic.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very select few who make it on a large scale. So when I see somebody like Glamzilla, like it's just not to take anything away from you girls. You know, it's just a special feeling, because like you just get that feeling like, man, I'm gonna be happy to tell my kids one day, like, yo, I worked with her, like I saw her grow, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Exactly, I agree.
You know, and it's very possible for all of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, in New York City, there are very few promotions as it is, but like, I don't see the women's division represented or taken as seriously. And I'm not just saying this because I work there, but like, I see it the most at Warriors. Like, Joe really takes his time to make sure that you girls are taking it serious.
Yeah, exactly. And taken serious, but also like that, you know, we're learning to wrestle the right way. Like, you know, I appreciate that he makes sure like from the foundations, like that the foundational work is good, so that way when we're training from the ground up, like when we start going out there, we don't look like just another, you know, wrestler that's being thrown in the ring and just like, oh yeah, you're just going and not even knowing what you're doing. So I really appreciate that, like being able to like, you know, all the critique he says, I always take it and I try my best to like, you know, put it into use and do better next time.
Don't change you, but evaluate, you know, watch your shit over and evaluate and really pay attention to the criticism of what people are saying, like
Right.
the little things that people are, you know, everybody bitches, everybody complains, but the little things people complain about, right?
Yeah. Especially like the technical, because that's the way I look at it. It's like a split, right? Like pro wrestling is separated by your technicality and how you move in the ring, how you, like, you know, you wrestle, and then you have your character.
Yeah.
So I feel like when people tell me very technical things, like, you know, do this better, like you could move this, or like suggestions, I really take those, because I'm like, okay, that can be applied to any person. Like, you know, anybody could get better sound. But I kind of think like it's completely up to the individual to like determine who you're going to be in the ring, because no one can really guide you and tell you and handhold you. How they can't say, oh, in this moment, act like your character. Like, you have to bring that out of yourself.
Yes.
So that's something that I also feel like is very important, like very important. And I've always been more like character driven and big on my character.
Yeah.
Like, I don't say more than wrestling, but like just as equal. Like,
And it's hard to put that together, character and
Right.
technical work together. Some
Yeah.
people only have one or the other.
Exactly.
And then, you know, some people, I think the people who have an equal balance of both, those are the ones who usually see the most success.
Yeah, I mean, so I feel like you do have that select few that if they have enough charisma and their personalities are over the top and they can just gravitate towards people, they might get picked up, because they might try to just, like, you know, train them enough, hide their flaws, and just be like, you know what, you just go out and be you.
Yeah.
Whether they hire you as a valet, as whatever it may be, in some capacity, that you're like this persona, because that's, I feel like, what these industries are looking for. They want these larger than life characters.
Yes.
And that's why they recruit athletes and try to turn them into that. But sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's a miss. You never know.
Speaking of what you just said there, you know how I feel about you?
What?
I don't see that come out of you.
Yeah. and
You know, like I see that hands down, you're technically sound, you know what you're doing, and your training shows well, but you strike me as somebody who has the ability to be larger than life, but I just, like, I don't know if you're scared to break out of your shell, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot here.
Right.
I'm
No,
just
yeah.
interviewing you here, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like you're either you don't know how to do it or you're afraid to do it. How do you feel about that? Like, what?
I will say, like, yeah, I think there's a lot to go regarding my character work. I feel like I'm just, like you said, I'm at the very, like, ground level of putting together who Amira Moon is, right? And what she represents in the ring, and how, like, you know, every little thing, like, how do you come out? How do you interact with the fans? How are you as a heel? Because that's currently what I am, and then eventually I'd have to, like, decide how I am as a face.
Do you remember the last match that I filmed?
Yes, it was against Sasha.
All right.
Yes.
So you're rushing out back to the curtain after you win, right?
Yeah.
And I yell at you. I said, turn around.
Yes.
You know why I did that?
To, like, for me to, like, turn around and be able to, like, have an interaction, move
Character
slower.
work, baby.
Yeah.
Character work. Because you have it. You have it, you know, but you know,
there's like I feel like there is a restriction that I put on myself that, like, I have to, I don't want to say part of it's getting in my head. Part of it's definitely rushing. Like, I feel like I definitely have to take it slower out there, because in our head, we think, or at least I'll speak for myself, I feel like I'm so low on time, or I just need to, like, hurry up. And that's why, like, I feel like I rush a little bit. Like, there are times I can slow down. That's why, like, even in the entrance, I've tried to, like, take my time. I'm like, okay, like,
you definitely take
your
direction well.
time.
Because you see when you're coming out, I'm like this, like, take your time. Take your time. That's right here. This is the money.
Right.
I tell all the guys, women, guys, whatever, anybody I work with, right? Especially at work. Listen, I hate saying this and I hate sounding like I'm sucking dick, but I'm not. Like, it's not because I work there. I'm being very honest. Warriors of Wrestling has 238,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
That's not easy to do. You know what I'm saying? That is what you guys need to pay attention to. And they're right there.
Yeah.
They're right there in the camera. Shout out to all the amazing fans that come out to the crowd, that come out to the shows, who are in the crowd. You know, it's not about not pleasing them. They paid a ticket, you're giving them a show. That's an even exchange, and you guys will go above and beyond to entertain them. But that's got to be your main focus.
Yeah.
Because 238,000 potential viewers are going to see you.
Right.
As opposed to 150, 200 people in the crowd.
Yeah.
You know? That's why I stress you guys. I sometimes I get so mad at you guys. Well, listen, I've spoken to you once backstage, and you've never, it's not that you have to listen. You don't have to listen.
Right.
But you do. You take the advice and you work with it, right?
Yeah.
But you got guys that run out. Why? Soak that in.
Yeah.
Show your character. Show potential 238,000 people who may be watching. Show them who you are. You only have, but what, 60 seconds for an entrance?
Right.
If that, why are you running?
Yeah.
Shout out to Roger Mendez. He comes out and he is talking his shit. He has charisma. He's showing off. You know, like, guys, take lessons from Roger Mendez. Take lessons from people like, shout out to new world heavyweight champion, Chris Benet. Chris Benet doesn't really have to do much, but he comes out and he just has swagger like he's the shit. You know what I'm saying? And that you have to live that.
Yeah.
You have to live that character. Wrestling is one of the greatest forms of method acting in the world. It's an art form. A lot of people like to shit on wrestling and say, hey, it's fake, but we all know the shit's entertainment. But even as a wrestling fan, you lose yourself when you go to a show. I remember knowing full and well that wrestling was choreographed, fake, whatever you want to call it. But when I pay my ticket and I go, I'm fully invested in the show. At that moment, it's real. So I'll yell at them. When they yell back at me, it's like an amazing feeling, you know, like I'm immersed in that experience. And as workers, I think we forget that because you kind of lose it when you begin to train, because it becomes a business. It becomes, you know, part of everyday life. And we kind of lose it little by little. But remember that the fans that are paying to watch and the people who are viewing it on their screens, for even if it's a split second, they're immersing themselves in that experience. So live it. You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, you never know if somebody like Triple H or Hurricane Helms or somebody's, by chance they catch your video. You don't want them to see 10 seconds of your video and you're not giving it your all.
Right.
You know, that's what matters.
Yeah. And that's why I agree with you. I feel like I've definitely, I don't know the reason why exactly. I feel like I've been like holding back, but I feel like it's in there. And once I like can bring that out, and once I could like find that niche or that thing that works for me, I could feel like it's gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing. One thing that I am thinking about getting, and I know I keep saying it, so I'm actually gonna like order it off Amazon, is like I need a mic. I need like a megaphone when I go out, because I know because of my like voice restrictions, like I cannot project for the life of me, and nobody can hear what I'm saying. So like as a heel, I know people are like, oh, talk shit, say this. I'm like, that would be nice, but they can't hear what I'm saying.
Why can't you project?
My vocal cords are basically like shred.
Okay.
So it's like a medical reason why. It's like I've talked to Joe about it. I've like said, I'm like, actually, like when I go to other promotions, I'm like, in the mask, they're like, you're silent but deadly. I'm like, okay, great.
Body language, you can do just as much with facial expressions.
That's what I've been having to kind of like do, but also at the same time, it's like, I guess I understand the entrance part. I guess what I need to dive into more, even like at home and stuff, like practice promos, right? Or even like I want to bring back like promo battles with each other, where it's like give two people a mic and have them go back to like band for band with each other on a mic. Even at least like a physical altercation or whatever. Like I feel like that will help bring out the characters, because I feel like it's a little hard to do that, because more of the training is more of like, you know, the wrestling portion, but then it's hard to like, you could do promos on your own and definitely, you know, practice entrances and stuff like that. But I do like, I would like to try that out, like get some wrestlers, even if it's like virtually, and it's like, let's just go. Even if you have to freestyle it, let's do a promo battle against each other and see if that's eventually gonna bring out your character. Even if they have to shoot a little bit on you, say stuff that's a little bit real, that's gonna pull that person out of you.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, so that's like little things I have in the background that I kind of want to do. Even if I have to tell my friends, like, you know, you don't wrestle, but here's the thing, like pretend we're in a fight and just like keep going with me and just bring that out. So yeah, like I'm trying to do like the inner work to like bring it out. I feel like I definitely wanted to make sure like I got to a point where I know what I'm doing in the ring, because I feel like that's most of us that start training. We're like in our head and like, oh, I hope I make sure everything is done right. I don't want to mess up. But then once you get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm not the best, but like I don't fuck up in there. Okay, now I could start to like intertwine the character and really mess around with that, because it's like now I'm not in my head so much.
Yeah.
So I think that's the stage where I'm at, where it's like, okay, I don't really get too nervous. Like I'm just kind of like, all right, like I've done this enough times. Like I just have to remember everything, and I just kind of tell myself like, okay, you went over the match, you know what it is, do it. Like if you mess up, stay calm, like just do something else. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just try to go out nonchalant about it. Like I don't like to be the one in the back that's like panicking and like, oh my God, am I gonna remember? I'm just like, well, if I forget, we'll just call something else. Like I'm not trying to do that, but if it happens, it's good to just not, like, you know, just act.
Fucking up is part of the business. It's part of growing.
Right.
Look at, you're a new age wrestling fan. Mm-hmm. Look at Roman Reigns, 2016 to 2018. Not that he fucked up at all, but he was just doing shit that wasn't working.
The Vince McMahon era. Yeah.
No, you can't even blame it on Vince McMahon, because Vince McMahon was there when Roman Reigns transformed into his greatest version. You know what I'm saying? 2020. It's not a Vince McMahon thing. It's more of trying things until you find something.
It works.
You know, and I don't listen. I wasn't working backstage for WWE, obviously, but I suspect that Paul Heyman has something to do with it. But somebody must have gotten in the middle of something there and said, listen, we need to try it this way, and it's worked ever since.
Yeah.
You know, and look, the same things that I just told you, apply about Roman Reigns. Like, maybe he was afraid to bring something out, or maybe he didn't know how to bring something out that was there. And I feel that way about you. I feel like there's something you have a level of star power to you. You just
that's why it's like I want to like combine. I have some ideas in motion of like characters I want to try out and see like how that works, or things that I want to do in order to like see if that can progress, if that can bring it out. And just challenge myself. So I'm gonna like, I don't know, work on.
Don't change your character.
Yeah, it's like things to elevate it.
A new version.
Yes. Exactly.
Revise yourself. You know.
Yeah, like I think right now as like the heel, I'm trying to go for like this egotistical diva that's just all about herself. But
you gotta cut promos if you're gonna do that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Or like I maybe even want to say like, hey, like even like that's why I kind of don't know if we're allowed to, but I kind of want a mic. Like even before like I wrestle, like I want to be able to like say something, or maybe just like. Because I feel like I could piss the fans off. Like I could if they could hear me. But just I'm like, can I get a mic? And I'll just say stuff and like say something, and then either we go from there. I feel like that would be a good little practice.
Well, Joe has something very, very, very unique that a lot of people aren't doing, which is the showcase matches that he puts on YouTube.
Yeah.
Take that opportunity and try things out there.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and I'm pretty sure if he sees something in it, he'll be like, okay, go out there and do that.
Yeah.
But I think that's the best place to do it.
Yeah, the showcases matches they're definitely fun.
You know?
They're like the multiverse, I would say, of Warriors. You could one day, if you want to be face, you could try being a face. You could try being a heel. You could just mess around. Your team, or you could tag with different people.
You gotta check my matches out on Warriors Unreleased.
Oh, do you have matches?
A couple, yeah.
Oh, okay.
A couple, yeah. Joe would never book. I don't know, whatever. Joe would never book me on his actual shows, but I used to come on the Sundays hungover as a motherfucker, but it would be so much fun because it's just like creative freedom.
Yeah.
You know, you can't have too much creative freedom on an actual show because you can damage a product doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I understand, but those showcase matches take advantage. Yeah. Take advantage of social media.
I definitely do. I will say my social media, it's like
yours is more personal than it is.
That's why it's like I creating like the character. I feel like I would have to like make it known that this is the character talking, because there are times that I have tried to like, you know, just get on there and I'm gonna make a video, I'm talking really bitchy, and like I'll put it out there and then people will think that that's me. Like they'll be like, oh, you like to argue, or you're a superstar, oh, this and that. I was like, oh, well, I guess it definitely pissed people off when I said it, or like it rubbed people the wrong way. But I was like, no, that's not me. That's like me getting into the character.
Fuck people. Don't explain that shit to anybody.
Yeah.
You be Amira Moon. You be that character.
Yeah. So like that's when it comes to social media. That's like I guess.
All right.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of a. That's where it's like I feel like I relate to the people who I don't want to say like the people who are like content creators or models or something, and then they go into wrestling, because that's what I kind of feel like I already came into wrestling with like huge following from just like me existing and posting pictures on Instagram and just who I am as a person. And then actually like by me posting like things of wrestling here and there, it actually got like this whole different audience who they didn't even expect that I did that. It was just kind of like, wait, that's you wrestle? Like this is really crazy. Like we would have never expected that. I have people that like, you know, all the time they'll ask like, oh, when is your next show? Like in this certain places in different areas. So I'll like promote, I'll put it. They don't really like the idea of going out to Staten Island, I'm not gonna lie. They're just like,
nobody does.
Yeah, they're like, if you do a show in Jersey though, like we'll pull up, or let me know when you come to Brooklyn and I'll try to tell them for the Brooklyn show or not. Even my family lives like an hour and maybe 40 minutes away from Staten Island, so to get them to come to the Staten Island show is like...
And you can't get mad if they don't.
No, they get to the brewery show, so that was like what? That was only like a 30-minute drive for them, so they showed up when they can, and they support me from behind the scenes.
I love doing those shows, you know why? Because it's only like half an hour from here.
Yeah, actually, it's not too far.
For me to drive from the fun station over, oh my God. Oh, it's such a pain in the fucking ass. Yeah. I have to go through Jersey, because if I take the FDR all the way down, then I have to go from Manhattan to Brooklyn to Staten Island, and I have to drive through all that shit.
Yeah.
If I go through Jersey, it saves me like half an hour, but it's such a I do it. You know what? It's not the money.
Right.
Joe takes care of me, but it's not the money. And I tell Joe all the time, I do it because I believe in the product, so I'll travel. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I don't do that. I get requests to film from a lot of people, and I don't because I don't need to. You know, if it's not a product I don't believe in, then I don't need to.
Right.
You know, I make enough money on my own. I don't need it.
And speaking of that, that's how I feel about like when I think about branching out to like different promotions and things like that. That's how I kind of look at where I want to go, because I'll be transparent. Like I feel like as soon as I started to put myself out there that I wrestle, I've gotten a lot of requests from different promotions. I haven't got to look through them yet, but
look at this big leaguer. She hasn't had time to look through all of it.
I really don't. I'm like working a full-time job and just like trying to stay fit, and then also doing wrestling. It's a lot, honestly. It's like people think like I miss social media, but I'm like, guys, I'm hardly on my phone. Like I'm not on it. It just kind of accumulated into this like
do every show you can. Every show.
But I will say, like, I kind of agree with that, kind of don't, like, because it's like, yes, I should do every show, but I also would want to sit and vet the quality of that promotion. Like, where am I wrestling? Like, are you safe? Like, is your equipment safe? Are the people I'm wrestling also going to be safe? Do they know what they're doing? Like, I don't just want to, especially as a female wrestler, like, I just don't want to throw myself out there, and then they put me with someone that, you know, that is not even green, just not properly trained, and then they go out there and like they hurt me or in some sort of way. Or,
well, you saying that already, you saying that is a great thing. It means that you're aware and you're professional enough to understand the risks.
Yeah.
So that means it doesn't mean, just me personally, like, okay, if I was still active, you know, as a performer right now, I would work anywhere. I'll tell you why. Number one, if you can put me against anybody, if I feel like they're reckless or they're unsafe, I'm gonna kick them really fucking hard, and I'm gonna we're gonna divert, we're gonna do something else. And then number two, you might think that wrestling show that has a rinky-dink ring and 15 people in the crowd don't have anybody. Do you know how many rinky-dink shows that I have either been on or attended or worked on that have had 10 or 15 people in the crowd? They've had Bill DeMott there. They've had Matt Stryker there working for WWE. They've had talent scouts working there. You never fucking know. This is, you know, I get into arguments with a lot of people. They're like, oh, why would you work this and that show? Bro, you never know what opportunities anywhere.
Right.
And you never know what video is gonna go viral.
Yeah.
You have to be out, but I understand everything you just said. You didn't say anything wrong. But you never know who's watching, when and where.
I'm like, just as long as they're not shady, because I did wait a while. Like, Fuego Lucha was like the first outside promotion I went to start to wrestle. And that was because like I wanted to have a strong foundation. Like, yes, I'm still very green, but I didn't want to like, oh, like, hey, as soon as I'm like 2 months in, barely could wrestle a match, and then I'm just accepting promotions from everywhere because they're like, oh, we need a female wrestler.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be that person, because also, like you said, we're in an era of women's wrestling right now where I hold myself to that standard of like, I don't just want to be that pretty girl that is just there for the looks and then you can't wrestle, because I feel like once you get put in that place, I feel like it is so hard to come out of it.
It is a vortex.
Like a really good come up story.
Yeah. So
like, yeah, I want to be that girl that they're just like, oh shit, like you're a bad bitch who wrestles. Like, oh, like that shit looks good. That looks cool. You did a great job. Like that's what I want out of it. Like they enjoyed their time there, and it wasn't just like a snooze fest to them in some sense. It was like, oh, like I actually enjoyed it. Like you did really good, and just connect with anyone that I can out there.
I agree with you, and I definitely understand.
Yeah. And I also don't want to be comfortable. That's another reason, because when I tell you, like, I was a little bit hesitant to like step outside of Warriors, but then I kind of learned, like, at one point, like, it's like the bird jumping out the cage, right? Like, you're gonna have to learn how to go out there and not be at your home base anymore, like with people you don't know, and learn to advocate for yourself, speak up for yourself, be led maybe by other people, work with people you don't know. That started making me have experiences of like just putting on match cards in the fly. Like I worked this one show that I was in, it was supposed to be a tag team, but then we got put in a triple threat. I've never worked a triple threat before, not even in training, so I was like, okay, like this is gonna be interesting. And then we just like put it together. They knew what they were doing. Like I put my trust in them, and the match turned out good. Like there were no like botches, nobody messed up, everything worked out good. I was like, okay, triple threat matches are not my favorite type of matches, but at least I got through it.
Yeah.
So I like that also like rigged experience you gain from just throwing yourself out there, because that you're gonna learn something different there than being with people that, you know, you're always like, you know, this person. It's like, okay, I wrestled like 20 matches with you, cool, let's go. Like versus someone who you've never wrestled with, they have maybe a different style, and you just gotta make it work, because that's where like the true wrestling begins. You can't be pampered and choreograph a match, like, you know, like just put it together and be like, oh yeah, I want to practice it. I'm like, no, sometimes you're gonna have to go out there and be like, put this match together in like 5 minutes and go out and do the match, and then you just gotta do it.
That's where training comes in.
Yeah.
You know, and when I mean, I'm pretty sure you're at a point right now where you can probably call it on the fly. I mean, as you just explained,
right.
You know, you got it done. You can plan whatever you want in the back, but at the end of the day, things are going to change in the ring.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're prepared for it.
Yeah, from just going out there and just going on the fly, I guess, like just doing what you got to do. Even being face or heel, honestly, like I know some people have their preferences of, you know, oh, I like being a heel, I like being a face. At the end of the day, you're gonna have to just be whatever they need you to be. That was kind of like I don't know if that's how I became a heel, but like, I guess I just said it out loud where it's like, I don't really care. Like, I guess it is what it is. And a part of that, I'll kind of like, I mean, if I'm wrong, I guess I'll be corrected. But I feel like at the time, before like, there were other girls who were heels, and I was like the only one, like I was the only one willing to be a heel, technically. Like I was like, okay, well, I think it was me, Glam, and Susie. And then them two were like more faces, and they were talking like, you know, they don't really want to be like heels.
Yeah.
And I was like, then I'll be the heel, I guess. If I have to be the bad one, I'll be the bad one. It's fine with me. I'm like, the Divas era, all the women were bitches, like, you know, their characters. So I'm like, I watched a lot of that. I don't mind doing it. So
it's you know,
fun.
it's a job, and a lot of
Yeah.
people think because it's their dream that it stops being a job, and that's where I think most people make a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at the end of the day, everybody's goal, whether they want to admit it or not, is to work for WWE. That's everybody's goal in professional wrestling. It might not be their only goal, but it's their main goal. And when you go work for WWE, newsflash, guys, you don't get to do what you want to do. You know, they're going to, 98% of the time, you're not going to retain the name that you worked hard to build. You know, you're going to have to switch up your look somehow, some way. They're definitely gonna change, you know, your appearances in some way, shape, or form. You know, you're not gonna be able to retain most of the things that you've built over your career, because WWE needs to own your name. They need to own the rights to your name, your gimmick. They want to make sure that they're gonna profit as much as they can off of you, and that when you eventually leave to go somewhere else, that you can't take everything you've built with you. You know what I'm saying? It's just a business practice. People call it evil, but it is what it is. It's business.
I feel like to me though, I feel like that's kind of cool. Like, unless if you become like a super popular indie character, like indie wrestler, which most likely if you're like that popular where it's like you're known across the world, like Joe Hendry, Denhausen, I feel like they're gonna retain those names, because that's where those people came in with. But like let's say personally for me, right? Like if I was like recruited to NXT, the Performance Center, and they're like, okay, we're revamping your whole look, you're this, your gimmick, you're that, I would be down for it. I would just be like, all right,
you have
cool,
to. You have no
let's do
choice.
it. Yeah.
The only other option you have is to deny them, decline them. They're going to then you're going to put a sour taste in their mouth until you as a performer go out and make an even bigger name and make them want you even more, to the point where they're like, fuck it, here, keep your shit. We just want to have you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And how often does that happen? You know.
Right.
Look at Mike Santana. He's Mike Santana. He was Mike Drastic, changed him to Mike Santana in TNA and AEW, and now he's Cruz something.
Okay. Yeah. So it changes.
They're going to change you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you have to play ball.
And that's why I feel like connecting with the people is the most important, because once you connect with that audience, it doesn't matter if you change your look, you change your name, they're gonna follow you through your career. Like, you know, that's, or at least that's, I feel like, the goal you should want as a wrestler. Like when you, like these people that could be like, oh my God, I watched her when she was on the Indies, and then she was this person in TNA, and then oh my God, she got to NXT and she changed her name.
Yeah.
So
That's.
I think that's like part of the journey that wrestlers should aim for.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're always going to be who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but you can say the same thing about Brian Danielson. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many examples of it, but you very rarely have the CM Punks. You know, even Joe Hendry. Look, Joe Hendry 2 years ago was on top of the game, one of the most viral sensations in professional wrestling, and now he's singing on Monday Night Raw, you know, with Danhausen, which is whatever. He's on TV getting paid. I'm not mad at him, but it just goes to show you that things don't always pan out your way. So you have to have those realistic expectations in this game. You know, when I first started wrestling, I thought it was just I was gonna do whatever the fuck I wanted to do, and it ain't like that at all.
Yeah.
So, what is the worst experience you've had so far in just on your journey?
The worst experience.
Have you had anybody that you didn't enjoy working with, anything like that? Anybody ever give you shit, bullying, hazing, anything like that?
Oh God. Okay.
Those are fun stories. That's why I asked. I have so many.
Okay. I will say in this current, like, we'll call it runs. We'll use wrestling terminology. In this current, like, run that I've done of, like, this past 2 years at Warriors, there has been no one that I don't like to work with. I feel like I work with everyone. They're all great. No one, there's no hazing, honestly. And I will say that is what I like, because I saw that going on when I first joined Warriors, like, when I was, like, 18 years old. And that's one of the stuff that turned me off. I was like, absolutely the fuck not. Like, I didn't play sports. I don't like this locker room nonsense that's going on. I don't think this is right. I just was not, especially me not being mentally there, I was just like, absolutely the fuck not. I can't deal with this. So, like, to go back now and see that the locker room is, like, respectful. There's none of that, like, I don't know, like, hazing stuff and that, like, oh, I'm gonna put you through this or something. It's just more like, here, you're here to learn. If you're willing and you're here and you show up and you do what you're supposed to, you have that, like, respect. And I like that. I feel like that's my comfortability. If you, like, at least that's just for me. I know some people are a little bit more hardcore and they like that stuff and they feel like that builds you tough, like, you get thick skin from it. But I'm like, that doesn't work for me.
You're
I'm not that type of person.
You're working in a very fortunate time right now, because, woof, when I started, it was ending. In all honesty, it was ending, but I still felt it. It was still kind of like the wild, wild west. You know, a lot of bullshit, a lot of unnecessary things going on. But I'm a fan of bullying, to be honest. I think that it builds character. I think that if you can endure, and you can still come up strong and on top of your game, even after the bullying and the hazing, I have just a little bit more. It sounds fucked up what I'm saying, but
yeah.
But I just have that respect for you, like, yo, this guy, he didn't give up, or this girl didn't give up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I get what you're saying, like, basically, like, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Like, that part I agree with. It's like, you know, if life was perfect, how would someone be able to grow? If everything was all rainbows and butterflies, you wouldn't be growing. It's like, you have to face these adversities. I think there's just a way I look at it. Like, I would rather go to wrestling practice and someone's like a drill sergeant with me and screaming and yelling at me like that than, like, actually, like, bullying you, where they're, like, picking on you, like, about, like, physical things, or just different things, like your background, or being racist or sexist or whatever it is. Like, that type of bullying, I feel like I'm like, especially in a professional setting, that's what I try to look at wrestling as. I'm just like,
You see, like, I'm fat, so when I would wrestle, Johnny Rods, shout out to Johnny Rods. I love Johnny Rods to death. But Johnny, he'd be like, you're a wrestler. You're supposed to be a wrestler, Papa boy. Look, you got titties. And that shit, that used to make me feel like shit. But it used to make me feel like shit. But at the same time, I have such a dark sense of humor that it was hilarious to me at the same time. You know. But it was a lot of body shaming going on. Yeah. Which I hate to use that word because it's such a pussy word. But it is what it is. It's what it is.
The business, I will say, in the business that we're trying to be in, you should expect it. Like, you should be at, like, some sort of, like, higher athletic level.
Yeah.
Or have that look. Like, you know, try your best to be able to do those cardios, be able to lift, be able to do all these things. Like, look your best.
Absolutely.
I'm a high proponent of that. That's why it's like, yeah, it's gonna sound like, I don't know if this sounds diva-ish, but, like, there's, like, every Wednesday, if I go to training that day, Roger already knows, I have to leave by, like, 7:45 because I have to go to LA Fitness to my Zumba class. But that's why I'm not out of breath running the ropes. I keep my cardio up, and that's why I try to keep that balance where I'm like, okay, I'm
discipline. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But if you're leaving at 7:45, what time are you coming in?
For that day, I'll come in like a 6, but then I'll also, like, I'll try to come in, like, the other days of the week as well. And that's where it's, like, managing that work-life balance.
But you got work, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If I was, like, sitting around all day and I was spoiled and I lived with mommy and daddy, they paid my bills, yeah, I'd be there all the time. But I'm like, I get people are like, oh yeah, you should, like, some people are hardcore, like, oh, you should put wrestling first. I'm like, okay, but then are you gonna support me when I lose my job and I'm on the streets and in the shelter? Like, I know some people have those stories, but I don't want that to be my story. Like,
it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, so it's like, it's really, like, being realistic.
It's
the best with what you have.
This you know, if there's a will, there's a way. See, like, exactly. It's different for everybody. Like me, look, But when I started training, I was 21. I had 2 babies already. I had a 4-year-old and a newborn. I had a job and I was in college, and I still trained 3 times a week for like 4 hours, 5 hours every time. So there's a way to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's different for everybody. It's not the same for everybody. So it's a catch-22. Like, okay, yeah. I mean, you do have to put it first if that's what you want to do. But you have to also balance it in with your work life. And here's the thing: if nobody understands that, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? You know, because at the end of the day, like you said, nobody's gonna pay your bills or whatever. But I say it's a catch-22 because flip the coin and you still got to put it first. So you got to find a way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And it's not easy. And then the older you get, the less energy you have if you don't take care of yourself, and things get in the way. Mental health is another thing. You know, so it's a struggle, but it's also a passion and it's a lifestyle.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, this has been very, very interesting getting to know you just a little bit. I always tell everybody that this doesn't have to be the last time. It could be the first time, doesn't have to be the last time.
Right.
So you're always welcome to come back. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest today has been Amira Moon. I hope that you guys have enjoyed getting to know her just as much as I have. Warriors of Wrestling presents Hit the Lights. Saturday, August 8th. That's a week from tomorrow.
Yeah.
A week from this recording. Main eventing with a coffin match between E-Rock and Jason Void.
Yeah.
You got Beastman versus World Heavyweight Champion Chris Benet. I'm pretty sure you will see the lovely Amira Moon here, along with everybody else on the Warriors of Wrestling roster. If you would like tickets to that event, I will link it in the description. Or you can just go to www.warriorsofwrestling.com or follow Warriors of Wrestling on all social media platforms. Amira Moon, we can find you at?
On Instagram at Amira Delua. That's DELUA.
And I'll make sure you got to point your fingers down. Right. There you go.
Down there.
Yes, we're gonna make sure you guys can follow her. If you're watching this, make sure it takes like 4 or 5 seconds to jump on your phone and hit the follow button. You definitely don't want to miss anything that she's getting into. You don't want to miss Warriors of Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been Sidney Cloud, Special Ed Chris, whatever you want to call me. I have so many different personas, but this is the most wholesome version that you're gonna get. This is Top Level Plug. You can follow us at Top Level Plug right here on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You can visit our website at www.toplevelplug.com. Right here, you can get your custom merch. You can get apparel. You can get stickers. You can get gag gifts. And you can also get the brand new Sidney Cloud Ring Rat t-shirt, property of Cloud's Ring Rat Center. If you don't know what a ring rat is, you haven't been watching wrestling long enough. All right. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you can be the first one to know when this hot fire drops. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.